overturn the election loss 2 years ago. The report summarises a 2-year grand jury probe into their contract after Trump narrowly lost the state in 2020. This is fantastic. It says the grand jury believes some witnesses, who weren't named, committed perjury in their evidence to the panel. Trump was never asked to testify. Joining me now very quickly, this is brilliant, Republican overseas spokesman Erol Morkoc. Erol, good morning. Welcome to Talk Breakfast.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's just cut to the chase. Does he stand any chance? Is he going to jail? Is he going away forever? He's fascinatingly dreadful, isn't he, Donald Trump? Talk to me.
I think in the world of left-wing Twitter fan fiction, they think he's lock, stock, and smoking barrel headed to prison. But in the real world, absolutely not. Donald Trump is the most investigated man on the planet. If they had dirt on this guy, they would have hit him. And not only did he not testify, but the idea that some of his minor aides or some people might have made some misstatements. I mean, compared to the 30,000 emails that Hillary Clinton smashed and all the other corruption, if there was some people who did wrongdoing inside of, Trump's cadre or some people who misrepresented themselves, they are going to have to answer for that. But will that happen to the Teflon Don, the leader of our party, at least right now? No, absolutely not. I would bet my house on it.
Let's talk about Teflon Don. Don, do you genuinely believe that he can be re-elected? When you think of what happened on January 6th, when you think about the threat from Santos in Florida, when you think about how badly they did in the midterms with any candidate backed by Donald Trump, that does sort of make you think, has that moment passed? But you're right. Nothing sticks to him, and he's come back more times than Sinatra. Do you not genuinely believe he can get back into the White House?
So I'll first say that you make some good points. And
Thank you.
Donald Trump, he digs his own grave before he claws his way out of it repeatedly. Now, will some of these, for example, January 6th, let's take that. 75% of my party said when it happened that they didn't really see it as a big deal. Nobody sees it as an insurrection. They saw it as misbehavior, but certainly not representative of the 91% of American counties, not the people, but the counties, conglomerate of the nation who voted for Trump. On top of it, yes, he will have to re-engage with the base. Could he lose an election? Absolutely. Is DeSantis probably statistically a better candidate to run if the party was to choose? Sure, but DeSantis is going to have to defeat Donald Trump head-to-head combat if he wants it. And so Donald Trump has an uncanny ability to reach out to the common man in a way that, a lot of these other candidates, Nikki Haley and whatnot, they're great, credentialed, wonderful people. But once we get into the thick of the campaign, which keep in mind, Donald Trump hasn't started using his Twitter account. He hasn't started using his Facebook account. He's waiting. He's waiting in the wings. And as this economy starts to, implode even more, as trains derail, as our Air Force shoots missiles at unknown flying
aliens,
or a middle school weather balloon project. We're not sure. One of the two. But either way, as this sort of C team has led America down the road to serfdom, to quote the great Hayek, you have to wonder if Donald Trump is not going to show up as not just the Teflon Don, but perhaps the savior of an economy wrecked, the one that he gave them that was inflation of 1.2%, 2%.
Every time I think every time I think he's done, the classified documents, and lo and behold, what happens? Biden's documents are even more. Then old Mike Spence, the thing about Trump is, and there's a lot to loathe and a lot to go, wow. You are absolutely right when you say, and they don't like this, although that political elite in Washington, like they didn't like Boris Johnson, the political elite in Westminster. The fact is, the common person, I've lived in America, and middle America will vote for Donald Trump again. Love him or loathe him, whatever your view, that is an absolute fact. Listen, we didn't have much time this morning, but Erol, you can speak to me anytime you want. I really appreciate it. Erol Morkoc, a Republican spokesman overseas. God, that Tom Willits, the producer, has been pushing me hard.